Hi there, and welcome to this training DVD on the Polycom HDX 9006. With this DVD, you'll learn all of the features that you need to know in order to make and receive video conference calls. You can select Play All to watch the entire DVD, or you can select from the chapters list to view a particular feature which is more relevant to you. In order to start using the Polycom HDX 9006, we first need to switch it on, and that is very easy to do. The remote control is motion activated, so to get the system fired up and ready to use, all we have to do is pick the remote control up. You need to make sure that the microphones are in place so everyone can hear you. Now the microphones are stored in this small dock here, which keeps them charged when you're not using them. In order to start using one of the microphones, all you need to do is remove them from their dock and switch it on. When we press the button on the front, you'll notice the light will start flashing a steady red. This means that the microphone is connected but is currently muted. To unmute it, all we need to do is press the button one more time and the light will start flashing a steady green. Once the microphone is active, it's important that we place it in the right position so everyone can be heard. If you're having a small conference, then only one mic should be required. But if you do have a large conference, you also have a second microphone which can be placed at the other end of the table, so you can be sure that everyone will have their say. When the screens are switched on, you'll then be presented with this home screen here. From here, you'll be able to make a phone call by punching in an IP address, or you'll be able to dial from the favorites, or depending on the software you're using, address book. Now in favorites or address book, all the numbers you should ever need to dial should already be saved in here. So now I'm going to make a call from my favorites. Now all I need to do is pick up the remote control and using the D-pad, navigate downwards to favorites. To select favorites, all I need to do is press the center button on the D-pad. Now from here you'll be able to see all the names and numbers of everywhere that you'd want to dial. You can navigate to the number we want to dial and then press the center button on the controller. When you're finished your video call and you're ready to hang up, all you need to do is press the red hang up button on the remote control. And then your call is ended. One thing you may notice in your address book or your favorites is some addresses seem to be duplicated with the exception of the IP or ISDN in brackets at the end of it. With this system, IP is the preferable method for making the calls as it offers the best quality for visual and audio. ISDN would really be used if there were network problems or if you were making a conference call to somewhere where the IT infrastructure isn't that good. So ISDN is more of a backup solution. Now all the numbers you should ever need to dial should already be saved in your favorites or your address book, but there may come a time where you do need to add a contact in, and to do that it's very straightforward. With the remote control, we press the directory button. From the directory, using the D-pad on the remote, we move down to options. Now from here we select options using the center button on the controller. And from here we select add a contact. And now from here, we navigate down to create contact. When it comes to adding the information for our new contact, we can either use the alphanumeric keypad on the control, almost like entering the information like a text message on a mobile phone. The second option is to use the on-screen keyboard, which we can access by pressing the keyboard button on the remote. After we've pressed this, we'll get an on-screen QWERTY keyboard, and using the D-pad on the remote, we can easily navigate around this keyboard and type in our information. Once we've entered the name of our new contact, we just go to the enter icon to save this name. Once we've done that, we just need to enter in the IP address we're going to be using. Once we're happy with everything we've entered, we just go down to the save icon. And now we can see in our favorites, our new contact has been saved. Now, if you want to make a video conference call to an IP address that isn't already in your favorites or your address book, you can enter the IP address manually. All you need to do is, with the remote control, go to place a call. Now from here we can enter in the IP address of the video conference site that we want to contact.
103.1.1.12.
The Polycom HDX 9006 also has a great feature called multi-point. This allows you to have video conferencing with up to 4 other users at the same time, and to use it, it's very straightforward. All we need to do is make our first call. So if we just go to the favorites and make our first phone call. So once our first phone call is connected, we then press the home button on the remote control. From here we can go back to our favorites or address book and select the second person we'd like to invite to the conference. And there we go. It's as easy as that to have a video conference with up to 4 users. Now if you'd like to share a PowerPoint presentation, or indeed anything off of your laptop, you can do this very easily by connecting your computer via the VGA to the screens. Now you'd connect this in exactly the same way you'd connect your laptop to, say, a projector, for example. You may have to hit Function and one of the F keys in order to get this to work. You also have a 3.5mm jack cable as well, so if you want to show anything with audio, like videos for example, this can also be done. So, once your computer's all connected, we can now view it up on the screen. All we have to do is take the remote control and press the content button. Once we've done this, the computer will now appear on this screen here. Now I've got a PowerPoint presentation loaded up, so now I can just take you through my PowerPoint presentation. When you're ready to disconnect your computer, or if you don't want anyone to see what's on your computer screen, all you have to do is press the content button one more time from the remote control, and then the screens will return to normal. Now let's talk a little bit about controlling the camera. With the remote control, we can control the camera at both ends, the camera in the room with us and the camera at the other end. If we press the near button on the remote control, this gives us full control over rotation and zoom of the camera in the room with us. If you want to take control of the camera at the other end, all I need to do is press the far button on the remote control. I've now got full control of the camera at the other end. I can pan the camera around and I can zoom in and out. You should now easily be able to make and receive video conference calls with your overseas colleagues and partners without actually having to leave the room. We hope you've enjoyed this training DVD and found it useful. But from me, Ed Dale, thanks for watching and goodbye.